Hello, everybody. It says we're live. Yep, there's the countdown right above me. I am seeing it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another wonderful Monday night.
My phone fell down.
Between Sunday and Tuesday, and I was like, it's neither. It's neither. It's neither. What day is in between? Couldn't think of it. Monday. Monday night. And our first commenter of the evening is the one, the only, Mr. David Coleman.
David! He wins! He wins, folks. Give that man a prize.
Give him the prize. Give him the prize. Yes. Hope people figure out today, January 31st, not Tuesday. Did I post the wrong? You
know what? You may not have. Sometimes Restream and StreamYard will have the completely wrong time. Like you've done it right, but they have not done it right.
Well, Amie had to correct me. She was like, you have Monday or you have Tuesday.
No, you have the 31st. It just said Tuesday the 31st. I was like, Michael, fix it.
Folks, it's not an act. I don't know. I'm like, what day is it?
He does have that problem sometimes. I will attest to that.
Tammy, hello. Thank you for being super early at Wolves 2018, 2019. We've got Gia in the chat. Karen and Jason and Tina. Hello, Mother Tuckers. How are you? Everybody's favorite people. We've got Chrissy's Corner and Peggy. How are you ladies all doing tonight? Everybody's favorite crafter extraordinaire, DIY goddess.
Who's here? Helen's here.
Helen makes it all. Amie, do you ever need any tips or tricks? You just hit up Helen. I mean, the woman has done it all.
She knows how to make anything.
She's got holsters for a glue gun.
Spanning centuries. She knows how to make anything.
Oh, hello, Holly. How are you tonight? Oh, Carrie, how you doing, Lurker? Oh, lurking like a boss. Got it. You're not really here. Okay.
Well, she's not working right now.
Oh, okay. Thrifter order. Not order. How are you?
Whispering.
Go for it.
So I can whisper.
Do it. Do it, Misty.
Well, I said I was gonna just take it off.
Look, you got your moment right here. Who is it?
You have something to say.
Coming to you live from YouTube.
Tracy, what?
Misty Pate.
Oh, who's on the screen right now? Misty Pate.
What?
Look, who do I have highlighted?
TNT.
Bust out the microphone.
Oh, well, I'll have to do that next time. I'm afraid, am I causing all kinds of interference with that? I don't know. Maybe I am.
I don't think so.
Hello,
Rachel. How are you doing? All right, guys, let's do it. So this evening, you guys, hey, Stephanie, how are you? Who knows? He wins our adoration, appreciation, and respect.
He wins a big hug from Sarah.
There you go. Sarah, give him some lovins.
Yeah.
Get it.
Or Peaches. Peaches can give him some lovins too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I hope everybody's having a good Monday. Oh my gosh. Everybody had a great Monday, a wonderful start to the week. Nan, we don't have any candles, so it's okay. No candles. No lighters, no nothings, okay? So this evening, ladies and gentlemen, we have with us, we've got Amie and Marcy. Both are primarily Instagram sellers. You know, Amie has sold with Misty. Marcy has sold with the both of us. So hopefully they you're seeing them, you're recognizing them. I will say this, down in the description box in the video is everybody's links. That is both YouTube and Instagram links. Please remember, go ahead, hit those links, hit subscribe, hit follow. It's completely free. There's no obligations, no payment, no interest is due. No. And you're going to help support a small business. Just throw them a little bit of encouragement and let them know that you see them and recognize them.
Yep.
So I guess, ladies, Amie, Marcy, do you want to introduce yourselves to everybody?
Marcy, you want to go first?
Sure. I'm Marcy. I'm the Vintage Bulldog on Instagram. I do have a YouTube channel, but not much is there. So follow me on Instagram. You'll get all the good stuff. I've been doing this for, I think it's close to 8 or 9 years now.
Wow.
Wow.
So
You've been doing it a while. She got lots of skills.
that's about it. So.
Okay, so I am Amie of Enamour Amie. I am also a full-time vintage and handmade reseller on Instagram. I also am nearing that 8-year mark of selling on Instagram, so that's exciting. I do have a YouTube channel, and thank you to my 34 subscribers.
No, I think you're at 40.
I know, 34. What? I have one video up there of my Christmas stuff. I do plan on doing some content as soon as the snow melts and there's some outdoor things to do. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Yeah, I think that's about it.
How long has Instagram been around? Do you ladies know?
I think like late 2013, 2012, maybe.
Okay.
It's been around a while.
So the selling really, it didn't take too long for the selling really to kind of start popping over there on Instagram, huh?
No. Well, Sarah, I believe, started Instagram Shop Network in early 2014.
Okay.
So, and I know that they were doing like static sales and stuff maybe the year before that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you didn't used to be able to go live on Instagram.
No. I wish that would have come around sooner, than it did last year. But it really has taken off in the last year. So.
Now, you ladies say that, you both have been selling on Instagram, and I'm going to put a button in that, but too, you guys, please keep in mind down in the chat, just because we happen to be the ones that are up here on camera, you guys are an integral part of this conversation. We do encourage you, if you have questions, to please put those questions in capitals. That way they will kind of stand out a little bit more. Not only do we encourage you to ask questions, but to interact with one another. It's always fun to see the chat going and it being difficult to kind of keep up with the chat. So again, if you have those questions, don't be shy. Just put them in caps and we can highlight them and we'll kind of do round robin that way. And if we're getting a lot of questions really quickly, I will do my very best to encourage. I'm reading Nan's at the same time. I will do my best to highlight as many questions as possible. Anyhow, what I was gonna say is that, so when you guys started selling on Instagram, you were doing static sales. So you were taking pictures and you were posting them in your feed and you were doing claims on them.
Yep.
About how long have you ladies been doing like your Instagram live sales?
We just celebrated our 1-year anniversary. Allison, Skeleton Keys in the Closet, and she was my first live sale partner ever. And that was in January of 2021 because we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary. So, and had a huge anniversary sale. So for me, it has been almost exactly a year. I know that probably 3 to 4 months before that, I had been watching live sales and they were getting really popular on Instagram. So, yeah.
A year, January.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Marcy, it doesn't seem like it's been that long though.
No.
It feels like a really long time, but it also feels like no time at all.
Yeah, I get that.
So
I had my first one in May.
You're coming up quick.
May 4th. We did it on Star Wars Day. Sarah and I did. So David and I have scheduled on Star Wars Day this year, so that'll be fun to do again for our 1-year anniversary. So yeah, just 10 months for me.
That's crazy because I remember because you had the Yoda. No, you did the Ewok.
Yep.
You did the Ewok.
Yep, I had Wicket. Yep.
That's great. Like that does. It seems like
I know.
remember that image like it was yesterday. That's crazy. Yes. And Marcy and Allison were actually my first Instagram live sale that I ever attended.
Marcy and Allison were pretty much like the only ones. Amie and Sarah did some. There was only like a handful of people that did live sales back last year, early, or the tail end of 2020.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not very many people were doing them.
Yeah. I was the one who suggested that Allison start selling on Instagram, but she is the one who pushed me to do live sales because I was very hesitant. I was like, I don't need to put my face out there. Like, I'm just gonna put the good vintage out there. Like, I don't need to be but she was like, no, you have to do this. This is the wave of the future. So yeah.
Well, it's nice because you can showcase the item. I mean, so you can talk about the item, you can point things out, and people can really see details and all of the different angles of the item. So I think that just giving a narrative, a verbal narrative, really does help when you're trying to sell something.
Yeah. The other thing I think that it does for us, especially on Instagram, is it puts a face with the person that you're buying from.
Yeah.
So you know that, I'm putting my face out there. So you know that you're going to receive your items, things are going to be as you expected. You feel like you start to have a relationship with your buyers where there was always a few people when you did static sales who would message you and say, oh, I like cats too, or whatever it is. But that kind of relationship wasn't there necessarily before I started doing live sales.
Now, Misty Pate, you were doing eBay. So I guess this question kind of applies to all three of you because, and we'll kind of put it in the context of Misty, you were doing eBay prior to doing the YouTube live sales. Yeah. I mean, do you, Marcy, you talked about some hesitancy in regards to literally putting yourself as a person out there and selling. But now that you've gotten used to it, right? If you could only, I'm going to put you on the spot. If you could only pick one, your statics or your lives, which one would you go with and why? Live. Why would you go with only live?
Because I like the community aspect of it. I like the interaction. I like the engagement. I like to talk. I guess with anything,
you do?
Shocking.
But I think that it just gives you that sense of connection with your customer. And I think that you really get to learn about them. They get to learn a little bit about you. I don't know. I really, really like it. I enjoy it a lot.
My answer is the same. My answer is absolutely the same. And I feel like the relationships that I formed with not only my customers, but my co-sellers as well, would be something that you'd never get from a static sale for sure.
No.
For sure.
No.
Amie, how about you?
Well, I will say that doing static posts for so long, I have always been big into photography and setting up displays and stuff like that. And so I always had fun taking the pictures. Posting the sale takes forever. And I did not want to do live sales either. Sarah bugged me forever. Amie bugged me forever. Just do it. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. But once I tried it, I saw the difference in that you do get to really showcase your item, see it how it really is in real life, that sometimes you can't always capture in a picture. And then you get to connect with your customers and interact and have that kind of connection that you don't get with a photograph and claiming something in the comments. So yeah.
Well, and that definitely can go both ways though too, when you're building that repertoire with your customer, that I think that it, depending on how the whole transaction goes about, they know that they can rely on you. If you've built that relationship, they know that you're going to get their item to them as soon as possible. You're going to package it well. It's going to be shipped to them promptly. So they'll continue to come back and back and back if you continue to provide that service for them.
Now, and let's talk, and I guess I'm going to kind of switch gears because I know that people are asking questions that I'm not keeping up. Mom's Son Thrifting Fun is asking, what is the best payment method to accept when doing a sale, whether it's static or whether it is live? What are you ladies doing for your payments?
PayPal.
Yep.
It has to be. It has to be for accounting purposes. My accountant is like, girl, you do PayPal because it's all linked through my accounting software. So it's just the safest for both the customer and the buyer.
Mhm.
Is
Yep.
PayPal.
And I consider the PayPal fees that I pay basically like paying an insurance policy.
Yep.
Like I'm paying for the security of making sure that I know that I'm covered,
And
my
they are
buyers know that they're covered,
Yep.
and it's like paying an insurance policy. I pay insurance on my house, I pay insurance on my car, I pay insurance on my business. Essentially.
Absolutely.
And what? And Amie, how about you? PayPal.
Well, it's pretty much the same thing Marcy said. It's just you have that extra level of protection with PayPal if something gets broken, if something goes missing, and you don't have that necessarily with Venmo and Cash App and all of those other payment things. And it's nice to be able to tell people that if you're sending an invoice in PayPal, you don't have to have a PayPal account to pay an invoice. All PayPal is just a secure processor, basically. So it's nice that you don't have to have a PayPal account to use it. So
Now, Marcy, you were talking about a fee, and I know that maybe a lot of people aren't necessarily familiar with the fee, and keeping in mind that the fee is incurred by the seller and not by the buyer. So what fee or approximately fee are you talking about there, Marcy?
So I believe it is a 30-cent fee per invoice, and then it's like 2.0 some weird percent that you pay on the amount of the goods sold. So
it's really minimal. I mean, when it all boils down to it, I mean, it is that safety net that you're protected and your buyer is protected. And I know that there are people that are worried about fraud, but it is a secure way to pay. And honestly, if you're wanting to buy things from live sales, you're going to have a PayPal account, or at least use that processor as a checkout.
And as a buyer, I feel like I can make sure that I am buying, in a way that is safe and secure by knowing that the seller uses PayPal.
Yeah. My accountant says only PayPal. That's the only one that you should be using. My accountant is a e-commerce certified CPA.
And the other thing I want to mention with PayPal is that if you buy something from somebody and they send you a request for friends and family, that means they're not paying the fee for PayPal. They're skirting around the fee. So you always want to make sure that you're getting an invoice sent to your email. That is the most protection that you will have as a buyer, and the most protection that you will have as a shop as well.
And two, I guess the thing is, and I kind of want to elaborate on what Marcy was saying, and then Amie too. Marcy was saying about as a customer, and I think that's something that's really important to remember there too, is that because most people that are maybe watching Vintage Rescue Squad, or if you're attending a sale, most people are attending as a buyer. And that's the important thing to remember too, is that when you are utilizing the PayPal system, you as a buyer are protected if your seller, for whatever reason, was not to actually send your item. You do, as a customer, have recourse in the fact that you file a claim, and then the buyer or the seller, would have to demonstrate and prove through a tracking number that your item was actually sent. If the seller cannot do that, PayPal will very quickly rule in your favor, and that money in full is returned to you through your card, your bank, however it is that you chose to pay. So as Amie was saying earlier, Venmo and Cash App, that doesn't exist. Those are actually for transferring money, which you can do on PayPal, but those are very much set up for, like, if I wanted to say, oh, Misty, here's $20, and I can send it to her. She's like, okay. In Cash App, that's what those things are for. They're not necessarily set up for e-commerce, if you will. And that is, again, another good point, that the 4%, it is nominal, and I'm just approximating, of course. So at the end of the day, especially with the new federal tax laws, again, if you're making more than $600, you can avoid that 4%, but at the end of the day, you're going to pay taxes on the 4% anyhow.
Yep.
So you're better off just to pay the 4%, have protection, have peace of mind, and keep it moving.
Well, and it protects you as a seller from the exact same situation that Michael was just describing. If
Yep.
somebody says that they didn't receive their item and you can prove that it was shipped, then the blame then is shifted to the postal service or UPS or FedEx or whoever it was, because you can prove that it was shipped and it was scanned.
Yeah.
Then they then have possession of the item. It is then their responsibility to deliver that item to the buyer. And if they didn't do that, then the buyer has recourse against the shipping company or USPS rather than the seller, because you did your part. You put it into the possession of the selling company or of the shipping company, excuse me. So,
right.
So it's a win-win for everybody. Now, Patricia is asking, and now everybody can actually answer this question. Do you all find it more difficult to do an Instagram? I mean, I guess difficult is subjective, but more difficult to do an Instagram live or a YouTube live sale?
YouTube.
and
Think
my,
it's
That's
more
what I'm
difficult.
used to. But that's what I'm used
Right.
to.
Right.
my answer is exactly the opposite. This
Right.
whole StreamYard thing is it really trips me out every time. So for me, it's Instagram for sure. But again, I think as Misty said, it's what we're used to.
It is. It is just so what you're used to, because I'm so used to having a YouTube sale. When I've done sales, like when I had one with David not too long ago, I was just like, I don't, this is weird. You're out of your comfort zone, I guess, a little bit. So I think that it all just depends on where your comfort zone is exactly.
I would say it was doing a YouTube live sale for the first time, just navigating and everything's the opposite way that you actually move. But I like the fact that the comments are on the side as opposed to on the bottom when it's on Instagram. But I mean, I see the benefits in both of them. I enjoy doing both of them. There's different customers that interact on both of them. So I mean, I love my Instagram peeps, don't get me wrong, but I do like YouTube as well. I'm definitely getting used to it more. So
And I think that's the big thing. And I agree, Misty. At the end of the day, it's all in what you're used to and what you do the most in. But, the people are the people, and irregardless of the platform, everybody's there because they love vintage and antiques. So there's always that camaraderie. There's always going to be that community. So all in what you're used to. Yeah.
And I know that and that goes with viewers too. I think a lot of the times too, I think that if someone is used to attending, like a buyer is used to attending an Instagram live sale and they come to a YouTube live sale, it's still just like kind of a foreign concept. So it's just kind of a weird thing, but it's good to kind of go both ways a little bit sometimes.
Well, the sale format is essentially the same thing.
Right.
It's just it's set up a little bit differently. That's all. But the sale works the same way.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then, Tom, this is actually an interesting question. I don't know that anybody's actually ever done this. Now, and I'm kind of curious then, Marcy and Amie, to get your take on this. Tom is asking, how do you keep trolls from sabotaging your live sales? Now, Amie and Marcy, aside maybe from some kind of rando occurrences or whatnot, do you guys actually on your, knock on wood, do you experience like trolls through your live sales?
No.
I've only seen them on YouTube.
Yeah.
No.
They're a treat.
Yeah.
They're a treat.
The bots.
Well, not only bots, they're actual people too.
Right.
Every once in a while there's like a random comment or stuff like that, but for the most part it's just a comment here or there. And Instagram has allowed you to delete a comment. The host can now delete a comment or block somebody from the sale. That is a recent change, because it used to be that you'd have to end the live sale, block the person, and then start a new live sale. But before, but now you can just do it right there as the host from the sale.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Maybe you're not a troll.
So
Well, and I will say, as far as YouTube goes, is moderators. And the thing of it is, you have to be very careful in who you make a moderator. And there was a time when I was just like willy-nilly, oh, you're a moderator, and I've seen you, and you're a moderator. You can be one too, and you can be one. But a moderator, that's giving somebody else a little bit more control over your content. So you kind of have to be very careful. So at one point, I took everybody's moderator status away, and then I just kind of gradually added those. And I think that that's a very important thing, because a moderator can put people in timeout, they can block people, and what might be offensive to me, or no, not much is offensive to me, but what might be offensive to a viewer or a moderator may not be an offensive comment to me, and I don't necessarily want them to be blocked or put in timeout. So I think it's important to have a relationship, like open communication with who you have as moderators, to kind of let them know what is okay to delete, what is okay to block. I don't want someone to be blocked just because they say boob, or what I mean, like, what I mean? You have to be very careful. There's a fine line.
Well, I've noticed in the past couple weeks that like being on your guys' live sales, that if somebody says something that's a sensitive topic or a questionable word, they will dim it out, and then a mod has to approve it to go through. Yeah. So that's something I've seen recently.
That's a nice feature though too. But and you know what, that's the interesting thing, is because I think like with the Instagram lives, and you have to like, so how do we do this? Okay, so like on Instagram, I'm not like, if I'm not following Marcy, I have no clue that she's live. There is no way that I'm notified that she's live. The only way is if I have followed her. And the only reason that I've followed her is because I've taken an active interest in her content. And I think that's why you guys aren't seeing the trolls, do you know? Whereas on YouTube has this wonderful bot system that will partner your live at the end of somebody else's live in a completely unrelated, and oftentimes they're gamers, where it will link our lives, and then when it ends, if that person isn't paying attention, it puts them right into your live, and then they get the, what the hell am I doing here? What's this crap? Blah, 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 blah.
Why is this suggested to me? Who's this old lady on the screen? I've gotten that one before. I'm like, who you calling an old lady?
Old. Now, Peggy, this is an interesting question. Peggy is asking, is there any fee to sell on YouTube or Instagram?
No.
Nope.
No.
Not yet, at least.
Not yet, at least. I'm
just saying.
Shh, Peggy.
Okay, so moving on, guess what? This is a great question that we can answer. And not only are we going to answer this question, thank you so much, Paller 1948, for asking. We might even have a demonstration.
Oh.
So how much does pirate ship really save you? So let's pretend that nobody has any clue what we're talking about. Ladies, what is pirate ship? Who wants to hit it? Amie, you want to go for it, sister?
Sure. So pirate ship is essentially a service which is free to sign up for. All you have to do is sign up with an email. You don't even have to ship anything from it. You can just make an account and log in and play around with the website and see how everything works. If you are familiar with the USPS website and how you calculate shipping for a package. So you're shipping to Arizona and you have a box that is 5 pounds. So you can calculate that on the USPS website. Essentially, you can do the same thing on pirate ship, and it has calculate rate. And it will give you how much that package is, and it will show you how much it is priority, how much it is UPS, how much, if it's heavy enough for FedEx. It will show you all of those things. And you can also find a super secret shipping discount that normally for the post office to qualify to use priority mail cubic rate. If you guys have not heard of that before, it has been available.
Amie, before we get into like the explanation of the cubic,
Yeah.
I just want to, so that we're specific.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I just want to say this is that on Pirate Ship, and I will be the first to tell you, and Misty can attest to it, I'm probably one of the last ones that has started to do Pirate Ship, but I do now exclusively ship through Pirate Ship. And as Amie said, it does cross-reference depending on size and weight, what services are available to you. What I will say, the two primary are USPS and UPS. As a seller, every single option that I am seeing is discounted. It is discounted if I went to USPS, went to the counter, or I did my calculations on the USPS website, and it was $25. On Pirate Ship, the exact same weight, the exact same measurements, the exact same service is like, it can be up to like 25 to 30% cheaper, specifically.
Especially especially for like oversized packages.
Yes.
Or like, smaller but heavy items. It might be in a smaller box, but they weigh a little bit.
So for me, I ship mostly like small ceramics. So the savings for like a set of salt and pepper shakers is really minimal, and I'll just use PayPal because it's just easy and streamlined. But when I'm shipping like swung vases and that kind of stuff, the savings is incredible for Pirate.
Over half off sometimes.
Yes. It can be up to 80% off.
Yep. So like normally the USPS cost of shipping a swung vase. Now, I also ship from the middle of the country. So it's usually a little bit cheaper to go from the middle of the country to one of the coasts than from coast to coast to start with. But shipping like a swung vase that would normally through USPS cost you like $50 just in the shipping is going to cost you like 18 to 20 probably with Pirate Ship. So.
And then as Amie was saying, there is something that is available that is not available to somebody that would just walk into USPS, and that is the cubic.
The cubic.
You go for it. Amie.
Cubic rate. So the post office has always had the cubic rate shipping available. However, to qualify for it, you have to have had to ship over 50,000 packages a year in order to even qualify to use it. So what Pirate Ship does, they have a contract with the USPS to be able to provide the cubic rate for small businesses. So if you're only going to ship one package every 3 months, you can still use it. You don't have to ship 20,000 or 50,000 packages. But it's a great service and a huge savings for your customers. Huge, like 50% to 80% off the cubic rate if you can use it.
And bottom line, I want to save my customers as much shipping fees as I possibly can. So it's just a win-win. If you're going to consider,
there you go.
Yeah,
Jamie Mid-Century Wasted is saying priority cubic rate has changed my whole business. Shipping from California used to price me out as a competitive seller. Agreed, Jamie, for heavy boxes. And now nothing is really over $12 in shipping. Right there it is.
Yeah.
That is exactly it, Jamie. And I think that's a really important thing. And, not the negative kind of competitive, but at the end of the day, a sale is a sale. And if Jamie is shipping from California and I in Pennsylvania want to buy it, I'm going to look at that shipping and be like, no, because here's one from Marcy halfway. Now I'm going to buy that one. You know what I mean? So, and that's like on eBay. Amie, can you use Pirate Ship on eBay definitively?
I don't sell on eBay, so I can't answer.
Well, see, people have told me that, and I just don't. I just don't. I just go, and maybe that's dumb. I don't know. Like I say, I am a part-time eBay seller, and if people have told me that you can, But I've just been so accustomed to just sticking, oh, my computer's about to die, just sticking with the eBay altogether, because I feel like if I step away, then I'm not protected.
Yeah.
Now,
I have there do sell on eBay, but I have not messed with it. I just put the dimensions in and the weight in on eBay and choose the option that I want from their list and go with it.
Same.
Yeah. I do think sometimes, I don't know, sometimes eBay is my pet peeve when I'm buying on eBay, because they can charge whatever they want for shipping. And it's like, yeah, you charge $1 for the item, but then you're charging $50 for shipping.
Yeah, Pirate Ship imports your eBay sales.
Okay.
I need to look into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But the savings is minimal, says Penny Day.
Okay.
Okay.
And sometimes you have to look at that though too. You know, if it's not, just as Marcy said, if you want to, like, you know, time is money. And you do, as a seller, have the option, once you have sent an invoice, the customer has paid it, you do have the option as a seller to go in and to put in the dimensions and hit print right through PayPal, which is far more streamlined. So if you're looking at minimum savings and you're selling small things, like Marcy said, primarily she's selling a lot of like the small figurines, the ceramic, the cute kitsch. So it doesn't necessarily, because that's time, that's money, you know, that's taking away from her business and from her family. Now, Stephanie is saying, AKA box in a bag. And the box in the bag is exactly what Amie was talking about. And that is what is it again? The
cubic priority cubic rate. So there are a few stipulations to be able to use it. The box can only be up to 18 inches that you're putting inside of your poly mailer, and it can only go up to 20 pounds. That's it. That's the cutoff. But the good thing about using that is that it includes $100 of insurance, whereas regular priority mail usually only includes $50. So that's an added bonus too, especially if you're shipping glass, something that's really breakable. Hopefully you pack it well and you won't need to worry about that, but you do have that extra insurance, which covered if you're shipping higher dollar items as well. So that's great. That is great.
Now I have talked to my postmaster. I that's one thing I want to really kind of preach a little bit to is, if you have a question about shipping, go to and talk to your post office. Ask them. I'm just such a proponent of building a relationship with your post office, and I just point blank, and I've like said, okay, here's my box. Can I ship it this way? And they'll say no, or sure, that's fine, or they'll give me some, you know, ideas. The thing that they have told me is one of the main things is the dimensions, and also the item in the bag cannot you can't tape all the sides, or you're not supposed to tape all the sides to make it look like it's a box. It still needs to have the characteristics of a bag. And by bag, we're talking about poly mailers, and poly mailers are, do you have one, Amie?
I do. I certainly do. So I did an example. So here's the box. Okay. It is a 12 by 6 by 6 box. All right. And theoretically, I said that it weighs 5 pounds, 13 ounces. So when you're in Pirate Ship, this is the screen you're going to see.
Oh, she got the receipt.
Okay. Right here.
Hold on.
It says.
Wait, hold on. Don't move your paper. Let's do this. We'll make. Wait, where did everybody go?
Hi, Michael Todd. Where is everybody?
Get it back on here.
I don't.
There you
I
go.
want that one.
No.
Okay, there. Boom.
Okay.
Gotcha. Go,
All right. So this is the exact screen that you will see when you are in Pirate Ship and you're trying to calculate shipping for a box. So it will automatically. So I just put in a zip code that's in Louisiana, I believe. And so it will auto-populate the box or rigid packaging. That will always be there unless you change it. So then your box, you're going to want your length, your width, your height, 3 dimensions measurements. So I plugged in the 12 by 6 by 6 and I put in 5 pounds, 13 ounces. Okay. So, and I figured that with that box.
Oh my gosh, I love she's got displays.
So that same box. So if you take that same box to the post office and they put it on their scale, it's going to cost you $16.85 retail to ship that box. But if you go into the box in the bag, and I will show you what that looks like with my next slide, you are going to pay $8.37 for that same exact package if you put it in a poly mailer. That's half off of retail. So what box and a bags look like. I apologize for the noise.
I like that noise though. It's ASMR.
ASMR.
Okay. So you get your bag, you get your box and your poly mailer. Okay. So you're going to seal up the end that has the adhesive. So we're just going to pretend that's closed. You're going to tape it shut, tape, secure, make sure that the open end is secure and taped down. But what you don't want to do is tape these flaps. You want to leave those flaps open. So if for some reason you decide, oh, well, I think the flaps are going to get caught in the mail sorter, so it's going to rip off. If you tape these down, then you have it 3 dimensions again, and it will become a box. And then your customer will get the box and have postage due if you only charge them the cubic rate and you tape these flaps down. Don't tape the flaps down. And it even says on Pirate Ship's website, it says a box that was put inside a poly bag or envelope, as long as the bag is still floppy and doesn't look like a box, you can ship it priority cubic. It says that right on Pirate Ship's website. So how you're going to get to that on Pirate Ship. All right, so that drop down menu where it said box before, it says envelope, padded envelope, poly bag, soft pack, or box in a bag. That is the second option when you do that drop down menu and you plug in the same dimensions that you had before. But see, the third dimension drops off. So you only need 2 dimensions. So you always go with your largest, which was 12, and the next highest, which was 6. Same poundage, and that's how you get your priority cubic quote. 50% savings on that package. So.
Demonstration.
And let me tell you, if you are, I just see Jamie's comment. If I will, once I have that box in the bag and those flaps are flapping around, my OCD is just like, you must be taped. And I will be I have taped them before because it just bugs me.
It's habit. It's habit that you want to tape them down. You want everything secure. And no, you got to leave the flaps. Leave them flapping.
But if you do tape them down, then you got to pay more.
Yep.
Or your buyer is paying more, actually.
Right. And that's exactly the point. The point behind this is, and to go back to what Jamie said earlier, why, and look, I'm going to shoot you all straight because I'm going to tell you something. Because I've told Misty Pate this, and I will tell you all right here on camera. It annoys me. I think that using Pirate Ship, it does take more time. It does. As a seller, it takes more time. But at the end of the day, and it's going back to why am I spending the extra time, is because it's going back to exactly what Jamie said. It's about being able to be competitive in a very competitive market. And above and beyond that, to go back even earlier to what we were saying, is because we are putting ourselves out there as individuals and people are connecting with us as people. It is so wholly important that we do our best to make sure that we are taking care of the people who are providing us with a platform to be able to do this. So if I got to take a little extra time and be annoyed by it, truth be told, I'm going to do that as a silent way to say thank you to people that are helping my business. Because it might not seem like 3 and 4 and 5, but sometimes, just as Amie said, that it's half, and that means that person that's just that more dollars in their pocket as a human being, not as a customer, but as a human being, so they can go out and get some gas, they can go out and get some more food, go to the McDonald's, do whatever it is you want to do with your money. It's not a business. But that stuff is important. Times are tough. It's difficult. And if we can try to save you guys money in some way, we will. And it does make it worth it.
Well, and I had seen a couple, I think I saw Tiger had said, the thing of it is, if you are going through pirate ship and you miscalculate your shipping, they will charge you for it. It's not like they will adjust, they'll ding you, and so that you'll get charged. But I better knock on wood, I can't count on one hand how many times that's happened to me. And I ship over 100 packages a week. So I honestly, I have never shipped through PayPal ever since I've been doing this full time for about 5 years now. And I have always shipped through pirate ship. I've never shipped through PayPal ever.
Wow. I've never shipped through PayPal either.
So it's just a normal, it's just a normal routine for me.
So this is interesting. I'm going to go ahead, Marcy. Sorry.
What did you use before pirate ship was available?
USPS.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Same.
Well, because PayPal's always
eBay.
Because PayPal's always had a discount on shipping. So that's why I always used PayPal. Now, it's not as big of a discount as pirate ship, but it does have a small shipping discount for sellers. It's like 2 or 3%. Some items, it's like some packages, it's more. But like for me, a normal package is about a pound, 8 by, or the 8 by 8 by 7 priority mail box.
Having to put in dimensions.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that the savings is usually less than 50 cents, but it's a little bit. So
yeah, no, I point blank asked my postmaster about the measurements, and she told me the way that I was doing it is just fine.
I asked my postmaster as well, because I did my first package, because I was old school before I switched to pirate ship, like handwrite the address on the boxes, take it to the post office, pay the shipping, come back, update the tracking, all of that. And pirate ship is so much time. Like, it takes a while to do it all, because you still have to get your rate before you send your PayPal invoice with the shipping on it. But it is a time saver as far as doing everything in one location.
And I went to the next town over, and I asked that postmaster. They told me the same thing. And
I took my box in, and I was like,
next one.
does this qualify for cubic? And they're like, yes, it's good, as long as you don't take the flaps down. So
my brother is a mail carrier, and he has been for 30 some years, and he is the postmaster union president or whatever. But it doesn't, as long as you are, it still resembles the integrity of a bag, you're good.
Yeah, it can't be taped down and look like a shrink wrapped box.
And I've been doing this for 5 years, and I've been shipping via pirate ship for 5 years, and I have always done now I will say, I won't use bag in a box for a lot of larger items, like if they're heavier ceramic breakables, because I have also been told that poly bags will get
ripped off.
They'll get tossed around because they're easy to toss.
Yeah.
And that's not saying anything bad against the postal workers. That's just, they're just trying to do their job as quickly as they can, And so on certain things that I might worry, like if I am shipping, oh gosh, I don't know, like Michael sold some really beautiful, more Majolica pots.
Oh yeah.
The Weller pots.
The Weller pot, yes. I wouldn't do that in a box in a bag, because I want them to cradle it and love it and kiss it like it's a baby. But
because they do.
Well, of course.
They kiss every box individually.
And the bottom line is
they hold them and rock them. They slowly walk them and place them gently onto the conveyor belt.
The bottom line for shipping is you have to package whatever it is you're packaging like it's going to get tossed around.
Oh yeah.
So you have to use that. You align all the sides. You fill in the voids. You don't let your item touch the edge of the box. I use bubble wrap and paper.
But just really quickly, because we were going to get into the supplies of it, but let's do this then.
Right.
To get into the supplies, Knickknacks and Kitty Cats is asking, where do you get your bags for bag and box? And Nan is actually kind of piggybacking on that. And let's say that folks out there are just starting. They're on a limited budget. Ladies, where are you getting your bags, and what size bag do you think would be best for new sellers to start with?
Well, I use You Pack and Ship, and I'm going to look at their site so I can tell you that.
Okay.
I don't have the sizes memorized on the poly mailers.
I've gotten some on Amazon for 50 bags for like under $20. It's not bad, but those were I do pick up some at Staples if I need to for an emergency, which they're kind of on the pricier side unless they have their packing items on sale. But I purchased the 24 by 24 poly bags for those boxes that are up to 18 inches, which I rarely ever use. I just have them on hand in case I need them. And you can always cut the poly bag down, so it's not gigantic.
Yeah,
but I would say 14 by 18 is a good size to start with, or it depends on the size packages you're used to shipping. You can get really small ones, that will fit a 4 by 4 by 4 box. If it's really, really heavy, then you can get a smaller poly bag. But yeah, Amazon has a ton. Yeah. And I haven't got a chance to look at the place that you use, Misty.
You
but that's where you get all your printed ones, right?
Yeah. And yes, you still have to follow those perimeters as far as the measurements goes. So it can't be over an 18-inch bag, which it's not going to be if you are using those measurements and keeping those measurements in your mind. Nobody here is trying to get over or do something illegal to the post office. No, you have to ask questions. You have to ask questions to the actual people that are in charge, not by what we say or what anybody says. Go to the post office, ask questions, and build that relationship with them.
I use Amazon, and because I tend to put larger items in box in a bag, I do the 18 by 18 poly mailers.
Yeah. I would do like Afghans and stuff, but it's going to be, if it's over that 18-inch criteria, then you have to ship it with 3 dimensions.
Yep.
That's just all there is to it.
Yep.
I'm going to paste this. I don't know if it'll show up in the.
So
no, that's not right.
I guess we're going to hold off on the packaging material, but all in the attic treasures is asking, is it true to do not use a priority box in a bag? No. So what a priority box is, let's do this. So a priority box is when we go into the post office and USPS has specific sized boxes that are available, and they say priority mail. When you go in as a seller then to sell that, they literally are going to scan the barcode, and that box has to be sent, supposedly, it has to be sent as priority. So that's where the question is coming from. Well, what if I completely cover the box? Are they really going to know? What do you ladies have to say about that?
If your postmaster or inspector is having a bad day and they decide to yank your package for whatever reason to check it, your customer is probably going to have a postage due notice.
Yep, I don't do it.
And no, and it's the same way with flat rate boxes. You're not supposed to alter the box in any way. Like it used to be that the large flat rate boxes were plain on the inside, and then people started getting smart and turning the box inside out.
No.
And trying to use it that way. Well, they started printing priority mail on the inside of the boxes, so people couldn't do that anymore. Yeah. So you're not supposed to do that.
I don't do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't advise that. That is what you call illegal.
Now, with one caveat, okay? Now, this is what I was told, okay? Not from the internet, but from the post office, is if you are going to take that priority, okay, you can get away with it, but you have got to make sure that you've got a good Sharpie and that priority is completely blacked out and I mean on all 6 sides. All barcodes have to be completely blacked out. And then you would be able to put it into the bag. If priority, literally the word priority is identifiable on the box, it gets sent. It's priority, period.
Well, you can use a priority box as long as you're not shipping first class, but you're going to have to pay priority.
But that's what she's saying. But if you put a priority box in the bag, you're going to get the discounted rate on pirate ship, and you might be sending cubic versus priority.
Right.
And then Amy's saying, well, somebody's having a bad day, and they're like, those dimensions look awfully familiar, because they know the dimensions that they sell the boxes in, and they're like, let me just go ahead. And USPS has every legal right, if you guys didn't know this, to open and inspect your packages.
Yeah.
Well, they can. So for folks sending media and there's no media in it, that's a no-no.
Well, and that's another thing about media. I'd seen somebody, media mail is another whole other thing. You can't send video games and comic books. You can't ship those media mail.
Magazines,
you can't ship those media mail.
Well, and I was told, like, if you ship something media mail, you cannot even like put your business card in there because it's technically not media.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's some weird rules with media mail. Yeah. We have used media mail before on eBay, but when I ship things on eBay, I don't put my business card in it. I just send it. I had not even thought about putting a priority box in a bag. I haven't done it, but I haven't also thought about it. I just, so.
Yeah.
So Kathy is asking, do you still drop off your packages when using pirate ship, and if so, where?
I go to the back door.
You were just telling people not to do sketchy stuff. Now here she is going.
That's where they told me to go. I'm there every day. I know them all by name.
Me too.
You can schedule a pickup with your postal person to come pick up your packages if you have a safe area to do that. I unfortunately live on a busy corner, and I would never leave a stack of packages out there. They would never make it. So I have to take all of my stuff to the post office, and make sure they scan your packages, and they will give you a receipt with all your tracking on it. You're good to go.
So I use USPS pickups. You can set them up right from their website. We live in the country. We have a garage. We know our postal worker by first name. So she comes in the garage, the small garage door. She pushes the button, puts the big door up, puts the packages in, and
nice.
Puts it down. So, I mean, it's for my UPS packages. We have a locally owned like shipping store where you can drop off all packages. It doesn't have to be UPS or FedEx or USPS. They do everything there. And so you just leave it on the counter, and I just stay there until the worker scans them. And then all the tracking information is automatically in PayPal, or Pirate Ship will send an email to your buyer automatically. So as long as I watch her scan them, then I walk away.
Because I'll drop off 70, 80 packages in one on a Friday, and I just go to the back door, ring the bell. I have like so many times, and they know that it's me, and then they'll come out. But yeah, I mean, if you are wanting, or if you can't get out and you want them to come and pick it up, you can get on USPS and schedule a pickup. I've never done that before. I've heard that it works great for some people, and some people I've seen, they're like, they haven't picked up my packages yet. And then the next day, they haven't picked up my packages yet. So I don't know. I mean,
I think it comes back to the point that you made multiple times earlier, knowing your postal worker. Like, we know our postal worker, and then I know the gentleman who is the supervisor at our closest post office. So there was one day, it was like 4:30, and they hadn't come to pick up my packages, which has happened only one time. And he called me, and he's like, I'm so sorry.
Aww.
I'm coming to get them personally. Like, so,
I guess I never did it because my carriers are all rural carriers. So they don't
in their own
drive
cars.
around in their own car.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have like 40 packages on my, I feel like a jerk.
Yeah, but they get notification that they know that it's 40.
Yeah.
So if there are other.
Yeah, but it gets me out.
Well, yeah, it just freaks me out, to be honest with you, because I wouldn't be here, and I don't. Truthfully, I do not go to the actual post office that is the closest to me. I go to the one that is closest to where I actually work.
Yeah.
I prefer that post office. They're just far more efficient. So I don't know. That's just a personal thing. At the end of the day, you guys got to do whatever it is that you feel is going to be the best and most secure.
And here's the thing, though, too. What works for me doesn't necessarily work for Michael. What works for Michael doesn't work very well for Amie. It isn't. You have to just kind of figure out what works best for you, and you'll figure it out. It may take you a while, but you'll figure it out.
And then Pamela is asking if this discount via pirate ship is also available when we would send stuff to Canada. The answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
It's still expensive. It's still expensive.
It is, yeah.
Yes.
And then Julie is saying, but why is it cheaper? How? How is it cheaper? What? And you know what? I think that's, at the end of the day, that's probably one of the best questions. Is like, but why is it cheaper to go through a third party than it is to actually go through USPS? Does anybody actually know that answer?
I mean, there's several different services that you can get discounted shipping rates, like stamps.com, Shippo. There's several different websites that you can do the discounted shipping rate as. It's just, they have a contract with the post office to be able to do that. I don't know how they do that, but they do. But yeah, it just seems like regular retail rates continue to go up and up and up, and pirate ship and the other shipping services continue to go down. Mm-hmm. Unless it's Christmas time, then they usually raise the rates.
And we can get super conspiratorial about the whys, but at the end of the day, it's a whole bunch of speculation and conspiracy and conjecture. So I think that's, and the answer of I don't know is an answer. So I think that's the best. We can theorize, but I think that would kind of be best left for maybe some other kind of conversation. Do you all know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, they have, like Jamie said, they have a bulk shipping rate with USPS. So it's designed for small business owners. It isn't designed for a hobby reseller. It isn't it's designed for people who are shipping multiple items every day and each week.
And not 50,000.
Theoretically, that's what it's designed for. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So there is pirate ship. I think we covered a lot with pirate ship. Ladies, do you think that there's anything we haven't covered with pirate ship?
Oh, we need to read the fine print, apparently. We're not reading the fine print.
Where?
I'm seeing people say that we're not reading the fine print for shipping on USPS about the box and a bag.
We're not reading the fine print?
Yeah.
Literally?
Yeah.
I can't figure it out right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just having this conversation earlier with Misty. I was like,
you input are the bag dimensions, not the box.
Right.
Go ask your postmaster.
I thought that's what we said.
But that's not good enough, apparently.
The bag dimensions are what you enter and not the box. That's what Amie showed you guys. That's why she had 2 dimensions versus 3 dimensions. Do you remember?
Yep.
Go ahead, Amie. Go for it. Let's put it up on the screen one last time.
So when you're putting a box inside your poly mailer, so obviously if you have an 18-inch box, it's not going to fit in an 18-inch poly mailer.
Right.
It's not going to work. So you're going to need a little bit bigger of a poly mailer and cut it down. Tape your end, leave your flaps, and you can still mail it. I asked that question as well. I very rarely ship an 18-inch box. I'm very good friends with my postmaster. They live a couple blocks from my house. So I was able to ask a bunch of questions about this. So the box that I had in there. So I believe that this is a Staples poly mailer, and I believe this is a 14 by 18 or something.
Yeah, because who is going to ship something that flat?
No.
Right.
No. But this is where you get your 2 dimensions. So you get the dimension this way, and you get the dimension this way.
Width and length.
So that's where you get your dimensions from. Yeah. But it says right on USPS's website that in order to qualify for it, it cannot be bigger than 18 inches. If it's bigger than 18 inches, it will have to go regular priority, not the cubic discount.
Does that make okay? So there's the fine print, and we even put it bigger on the screen. How about that? Okay. So is there anything else that we haven't? Any other?
Yeah. Anyway, so that is that what we're talking about? Where it
Yes.
says box in a bag. So you only have 2 dimensions that you can plug in there. That's it. You can't do the third one if it's a box. If it's a box, you have to select the box and do the 3 dimensions that way.
Bottom line, I don't ship big items in a poly bag.
No.
I ship things that will fit in about a 14 by 12, I think, poly bag. It's smaller items, or I've done it this way too, just simply because I'm weird that way. If the box is ugly, I'll put it in a pretty poly bag. It makes me feel better when it goes.
It's on its last legs. It doesn't meet the Misty.
Well, you know what I mean? Because I reuse a box until it can't be reused anymore, and I don't like the way that it looks. I'll put it in a poly bag and make it look nice.
Or if you have maybe like an unconventional, have you all used unconventional boxes?
Not very often, but I have.
Okay, but what's the most unconventional box you guys have used? Come on now. Come on.
Unconventional.
I've used a box that my Keurig came in.
Okay. I've used, y'all know when you get your Christmas lights, the string lights?
Yeah,
I actually used a couple of those this year.
No.
Yeah, I did. They're thick cardboard.
They are.
I didn't know if you were
They
meaning
are.
like you take a box and you like cut it down so that you start with a larger box and then you have to cut it down to decrease the dimensions, because of course the dimensions make a difference, right?
Yes.
And sometimes it makes you try to make it into like the most rectangular shape that you can, but sometimes it's not the most rectangular,
Right. It's a little wonky.
How did that happen? We were doing so well.
Yeah. No, but we use every box.
I have got packages from Marcy before, and they're not just brown boxes. I think I don't even remember what it was, but it was like some electronic, like wall mount thing box. Yep. I mean, it's a box. It worked just fine.
Most of my boxes come from my husband's job. So they literally, like, he works in a plant that manufactures things. He's an engineer. So anything that they get shipped to them.
You got one of those too?
Yes. Anything that they get shipped to them, he steals the box if it's a good size. Obviously not, they get gigantic things on pallets shipped to them too. That they, we don't need that, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think recycling is important. I mean, when you're at Christmas and people are opening their boxes and you're like, I will take all the
tissue paper and all.
Yes, I have stood up in the family room. I will take all of your boxes when you are finished.
Yep.
Not the shirt boxes, but like someone will wrap a gift in an Amazon box, because it's just the size.
And I will say that if you have a local dollar store, or you happen to get to the grocery store on stocking day, they have mountains of boxes that they're just going to throw away. And if you talk to the manager and be like, hey, if you want to unload some of those boxes, give me a ring and I'll come pick them up. Or packing paper, my goodness, anything glass that the Dollar Tree gets, it comes wrapped in brown paper. If you really don't want to spend money on shipping supplies and you'd rather do the recycling, reusing thing, definitely check with your dollar store and get some freebies.
So obviously my full-time job plays into this, but I see some patients at like assisted livings. You know how many newspapers are delivered to assisted livings, whether it is like the shopper where it's like free and or the actual paper. So I have a few patients, former patients, who stack newspapers aside for me, and then I go pick them up when they have a couple bags. So like use the people that you know.
They'll save them for you.
And that's my thing. Like I get all, well, I mean, 98% of the stuff that I get from work, which includes my magic word. My favorite thing is brown packing paper. So Nan is asking specifically, do you put more packing material around the inner box?
Absolutely.
100%. My favorite thing to use for packing is packing paper, is the brown packing paper. And I have a very specific brown packing paper that I like because I like the thinner. Because if you get the super thick, then it's super abrasive and you can't like crunch it right. And I'm always afraid that it doesn't give it the right cushion. I love brown packing paper, and newspaper is a close second.
Is Dan talking about the box in a bag though? Like you don't put paper into the bag.
Oh, no.
You just put the box into the bag.
Yeah.
And then you mail it.
Yeah.
You don't have to put paper around or inside of the poly mailer. You just put the paper inside of the box.
Inside the box.
Pack the box for war the way that you normally would, and then you just put the poly mailer over it. That's all you do.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a good question. Okay, so mom, son, thrifting fun. Is there a time-saving trick to exporting the pirate shippage usage, in other words, your receipts, if you will, into your financial records? I would think that just depending on the kind of software that you are using, or if you're using a CPA printing out, because you do get an email receipt from Pirate Ship.
Just use PayPal. Just pay for your pirate ship through PayPal, and then everything is recorded in PayPal. So
that
it's
just started though, didn't it?
Yeah, like I just linked my pirate ship account to PayPal, and I don't think you can do that directly. I just use my PayPal debit card, and then all of those transactions are then.
That's the way I've done it.
They just added being able to add your PayPal account instead of using the PayPal debit card. Yeah.
But then it's all in PayPal. So then
let me just say though too, this is kind of has to do with shipping, but kind of if you are a customer, make sure that you are checking your spam box for your invoice notices. Because I think sometimes people aren't getting their, because it'll go to their spam. So every once in a while, it's a good idea to go into your spam and just check to see if you've received that invoice or the tracking number
A scale is an important tool to have. Yes.
An ounce can make a difference if you're paying retail.
Yeah.
If you have a 12 ounce, if you have a 12.9 box and it goes up to 13 ounces, you're going to be paying like $5 more retail, depending on where you're shipping. So get a good scale.
Well, and you can get a good scale for like $30.
Oh yeah. They're not expensive. No.
And then Kathy is just saying, will USPS pick up pirate ship packages? Yep. Kathy, they are, the label that comes out is saying USPS or UPS or FedEx. It's not, Pirate Ship is not an actual shipping company. They're a third party that is brokering discounted deals for small businesses through USPS.
Yeah. The only difference is in the USPS part of the label, if you do use box in a bag, it'll say cubic rate instead of like priority or first class or whatever. It will, that's the only difference if you use the box in a bag.
Carissa is saying, with Pirate Ship, do you have to print your own label, or can they get a QR code like eBay? Like the little digital box is the QR. I've never seen a QR through.
I haven't seen the QR, but you have to print your label to put it on your box. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, and I want to say too, if you are a seller, just real quick, just as a safety precaution, make sure that well, I don't know if this would go for I guess I don't have my home address on my, when you go into Pirate Ship to put your, your return shipping information, I have my PO box. I know not everybody has a PO box, but I don't know if you have to enter in, or well, you probably do have to enter in a return address, but I just think of it like safety precautions. I don't want my address on my box.
Okay. I'm sorry. We're going to start jumping because I know that I got super behind you guys. So I do apologize. We're going to go quick. So Peggy, and we're going to shift gears here. Peggy is asking, I guess this is for Misty. Misty, she's thinking of opening an eBay store this week. Are you only allowed so many listings? And Marcy, also you can answer this. Are you only allowed so many listings at first?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Okay.
They will give you so many free listings because eBay will charge you a listing fee at a certain point, like over a certain amount of listings. So they'll give you a certain number free.
Peggy, when I was starting to sell on eBay, every month I was getting 50 free listings. And I don't know, because I know a lot of times eBay will change, like this month it's 50 and then this month it's 60, but then the following month you get 100.
250 free.
Oh, there you go.
And that's one thing too. Like if you're like teetering on, should I just list or should I get a beginner store? I guess, if you think that you will list more than 250 items in a month, then you probably should. But if you don't think that you're going to list more, create more than 250 listings per month, then you don't need to. But there are benefits to having a UPS store, eBay store, which is that little coupon that we all covet so much to get our boxes and tapes and that kind of stuff.
Okay, I'm scrolling down, guys.
Hey, real quick, Pamela Hammett asked if the Pirate Ship packages come with tracking. Yes, they do. So as soon as you buy your label, you get that tracking number. I copy and paste it, go right back to PayPal, put the tracking in, and print the label. It comes automatically with the tracking. Yep.
And you can also set up in Pirate Ship where you're, if you're copy and pasting the address from PayPal, you can copy and paste the email address, and then your buyer will get an email with the tracking information.
Yep.
Which is something that I highly suggest you do, is to go ahead and go that extra step and add that email on your Pirate Ship. It will save you so much more time with your returning customers.
And then quickly, Sarah Lee is asking for, again, the weight. I know that I'm behind, so I know that we probably already answered.
20 pounds. 20 pounds. Yeah. Cannot go over 20 pounds.
Tiger is bringing up a really good point. In Arizona, you can drop off UPS packages at some CVS pharmacies. You can also drop them off at some Michael's craft stores.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that you could do it at Michael's
either.
Yes, you did, because I told you.
Why can't you do it at Michael's?
That's what I said. I need just another reason to stop at Michael's craft store.
I think your mom named you Michael because you love the Michael's store so much.
I love it. I was around because it was something else.
It was Lee Ward's, I bet you.
Thank you. Yes, that's exactly what it was. Yes. Gosh, can you believe I'm older than Michael's?
Lee Ward's. That was my jam back in the day, too.
So we got the tracking. Thank you. I'm going. I know that I'm way behind.
Yes, Walgreens. I just go into my UPS store and just lay my box on the thing and I leave.
Guys, just remember to put them in capitals. That's what's catching my eye, are the capitals. Everything else I'm just kind of scrolling through. Okay, so All in the Attic Treasures is saying there is a seller who ships everything for $7, no matter the size or shape. How does that work?
That's just their policy. They're eating the rest of the shipping fees from that.
Yep. They're just pricing their items accordingly so they can eat that cost.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's just an example, because Etsy, from what I gather, really it promotes its sellers through its platform. but one of the main things qualifiers for Etsy to promote your store is that you provide free shipping. And I think it's on free shipping for items that are, I can't remember if it's 35 or over or 35 and over. Don't quote me on that.
I don't do Etsy.
But what they're telling their sellers is price your items accordingly. So in other words, if it's this item's $15, but the shipping is going to be $10, then price it at $25 and make your buyers feel like they're getting free shipping, even though you added the cost into the price, if that makes sense. So that's exactly what Marcy just said.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Matthew, and you did ask this earlier.
Hi, Matthew.
I see it again. Thank you for putting it in again, Matthew. Matthew is asking, what is the one thing that each of you collect that your significant other despises? Or if anything. I don't have one, so I can collect whatever the hell I want.
Probably my glasses.
How many pair do you have now, Misty?
That many.
12?
She has to think about it.
12 pair, I think.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
No.
I'm going to go to the eye doctor in June. My prescription will change and I'll
Have to get new glasses.
I know.
I don't really have anything. Like, I try and keep all of my collections up here in my craft room. So it's kind of like my kitsch domain. And I don't really do anything else like that in the rest of the house. So, you know, my husband just lets me do my own thing. So
There you go.
Well, my husband, he's very tolerant. But and my stuff does not stay in my kitsch domain. But he's not super fond of the angels that I've started collecting. He says that they stare at him. And I told him to close his eyes. And he doesn't, I don't collect these, but the rubber faced, like the rubber faced like animals, the Rushtons and stuff, he thinks that they're very creepy, and I don't collect them, but I do sell them. So there was an infamous incident where I bought a Rushton skunk at a flea market, and I sold it. But for the time between I bought it and I sold it, he put it in a box and put it underneath the bed in the basement guest bedroom. Because he said, yes, it was like a nice clean box, but he said it was going to get us. So he did hide it.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to get y'all.
Yes, it is.
Oh, poor Rushton skunk. I love a Rushton.
I know. But it found a new home, so it was good. It was
There
good.
you go.
I love things with faces. It's what I do. It's my thing.
I don't know. I feel like at this point I am so behind. I'm just gonna scroll.
I see one.
Okay, go for it.
Can you explain the invoicing on PayPal? I guess Melanie, what do you mean? What about it that would you want to be explained clearer?
Well, explain the process. What do you do when you are sending an invoice?
I go into my PayPal and I'll do create invoice. You can make a template with your business heading and stuff on it. And that's all pre-filled out. But then you just enter in their information. That's why when we have sales, we're always asking you need your actual name, your YouTube name if it's different, your full shipping address, and your PayPal email, because that's the information that we're going to enter in to Pirate Ship. And then we're going to enter in your email address through PayPal. And then whatever address you have linked through PayPal, if it's different in Pirate Ship, I'm going to go with what the information that you have provided me in that email. And that's what I'm going to put on your Pirate Ship invoice. But essentially it's just the same way. You just kind of plug in everybody's information. Then you get the dimensions and the weight, and you just plug it in. Now with a Pirate Ship, the nice thing about it is what you won't do, you'll enter in all this information, you'll see what their shipping fees are, but you just don't print the label. You just go out and then it'll, go back and it'll save it. and there'll be like a little green box, and like go and I'm looking for those little green boxes, and that tells me that these are the invoices that haven't paid yet or have paid. And that's, I mean, that's basically it. You're just plugging in information that you're getting from your customer, and it'll save it for the next time.
Yeah. So on your invoice, you're just putting in the basic information. You're putting in the email, the items, the price, the shipping, and then, you know, you make a template like Misty said, where you put in your shop policies or whatever information you choose, and then you just send it. Yeah.
Lauren is saying, we're back to the eBay. So it's 250 new listings per month. That doesn't include current listings. Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Right. It's just you can, they will give you 250. But I think I had seen a couple people say that if you're just if you're brand new, I think that you only get 10 until you kind of build up like you're legit kind of thing after you sell those 10 things.
Well, I've been around for a minute. So.
Yeah.
But that does include, and that's also something to keep, somebody was saying it earlier, but keep in mind, and I can't remember where we were talking about it, but if you are completely and utterly brand new to eBay, you need to buy stuff like on eBay so that you have some kind of feedback, because it is a warning flag, especially if you've got some really nice, some harder to find stuff, some valuable things, and you want to put a big price tag on there because that's what they're worth, and there's nothing wrong with that. But keep in mind, me as a buyer, when I go into eBay, I see that and I will scroll down because it gives me the seller's feedback. And if they want $600 or something and they have 0 in their feedback, I'm like, no.
Yeah. Everyone has to start somewhere, but it does make you.
But that's why buying helps, so that you're.
Yeah.
I'm not going to know whether you bought or sold. I'm going to see your transaction and your total. So keep that in mind.
Yep. And that just means, that just shows that you're buyers, that you're not like a bot, or like you're not somebody who's trying to scam. So
There
that
you
you're
go. There it is, right there, Clay. That's exactly it.
Clay. That's right.
And that's a good thing. That's the thing, because you hear a lot of people say it. You know, there are people that are of two minds, and there are people that actually allow both of these thoughts to occur within their self. Is that there are some people that say, I don't want to sell on eBay because I don't want to pay the eBay fees, period. So they don't sell on eBay. There are people that are, and I get both. But then there are people that say, well, eBay is a global platform, and just like Marcy said, you pay PayPal for the service. You are paying eBay for that service. They are promoting, they are bringing who knows how many thousands upon thousands of eyes onto your item potentially.
Yeah.
So you do end up paying for that service, and you have insurance and buyer protection and seller protection on eBay too. So it's a service.
Yep. I had seen. How do you?
What?
I think Miss Weil, have you guys read about this in reference to package theft? Like porch pirates?
Oh, I think maybe the insurance. Is that what you're, or like the PayPal protection?
Ask that in a different way, Miss Wildlife.
Yeah.
Or like the pickup. That's where I'm at. Is it like if we were to send something and somebody says that I never got it, even though tracking is saying that they got it? Or is it that you scheduled a pickup for your packages and then somebody's made off with them?
No, that's not what she said. That's not what, or he, that's not what, well, I'm assuming it's she since it's Miss Wildlife, but package, I guess, wait here, read what I wrote right after that. Okay. I'm looking. I don't see it. I don't see it. Maybe type it in again.
Yeah, I'll try. There was a, whoops.
Oh, PayPal money requests versus PayPal invoice. Oh yeah, no. We send invoices, not friends and family. I mean, I might send Michael an invoice via friends and family, but I
Right.
don't find him.
Well, that's the thing though too, is that, sometimes, and I'm not going to name names, but there are certain sellers that I will say, hey, just send me the total, and I'll do it. I would, like with Marcy, I'd be like, girl, just send me the amount. Now Marcy, because she's a business, is going to be like, no, it's going to be an invoice because I need it for. There are certain sellers that I would say, if you want, I will, because they are well established, because I have bought from them before, and I can do that. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's different than somebody like a seller coming to me being like, well, I need you to send it to me as friends and family. No, red flag. Red flag.
Right. The other thing that I know a lot of people do, but it's like a little bit dicey the first time, is like meeting your buyer for like them picking stuff up. Like if for people that I do not know, for like brand new buyers, I'm like, even if you're like in the cities, let me ship you your items, unless it's somebody that I know, like somebody that I'm like, okay, we're not going to have an issue. So I do not have any disputes in PayPal, and I'm going to keep it that way. So I want to make sure I get you your items, and I know that I can do that by shipping them to you. So if I know you, absolutely. But yeah. So
Yeah.
What I wrote. Hey, Amy, how are you? There's the other. And again, Linda, we were talking about that earlier. It's about feedback. You can never tell. Somebody could have 1,000 positive feedbacks, and all of a sudden something happened in life, and off the rails they go. It's that's at the end of the day. You just don't know. Nothing is 100%. Nothing's guaranteed in life, but that's why it's important to utilize a platform like PayPal, like eBay, where there are protections and insurance plans that are in place for both the buyer and for the seller, right? And sending money via PayPal, like if you bought something from me from a live sale, and this is the risk that's involved, and you sent it to me as friends and family, I don't have to send you anything. I can keep your money because you sent it to me as a friend and family. You just gave me money.
Oh, I guess lots of new sellers are not using invoices.
Oh no.
No, you have to use an invoice. You need to. At the end of the day, you are providing a service. You're a business. You are a business, and you send out an invoice. That's going to be your protection. It's also going to be a way that you can keep your accounting straight for your CPA.
Yep. Yes. Your CPAs will appreciate it.
Yes.
Now, Freddie Fines is asking, if you have no idea what to price something, where do you go for information on that item? Google, eBay? Is there anything reliable or something consistent that ladies are going to look up your comps or your solds at?
I look at eBay solds. You don't want to go to eBay and look at what people have things listed for, because it's not a good gauge. You have to go in. There's a little side down drop menu, and you can select sold items, and that will show you if there's a comp there that has sold recently. The other service that I would recommend, you do have to pay for it, is WorthPoint. And I will tell you, it is super valuable, and it will show you sold comps. The furthest back I've seen it go is 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And that can really help with super rare items that you might come across. Like if there hasn't been one on eBay that has sold since 2011, you have a good item that you probably will get a good fair amount for. But you do have to pay for it monthly. It's a monthly subscription you have to pay for, but it's definitely worth it. And if you are a legitimate business, you can write it off on your taxes too. So.
And Misty, those are what you use, is that correct?
Yep. I use both eBay and WorthPoint. I like to use eBay, not only the sold listings, but also the listed listings. So it kind of gives me what the market, where I want to price my items in regards to where other people, or if I'm if I'm out somewhere and I'm looking something up, I want to see if the market is just flooded with this, and I have to, do I want to put the money into it, into buying it, into storing it, into shipping it, and all of those things. So I use both, but WorthPoint, yeah, it's a write-off. It's a tax write-off. It's a business deduction, and I highly recommend it.
And we, the admins of ISN, we split the cost of a WorthPoint account so that we can look up items for any of the sellers in our group. That they don't have to pay for it themselves, but we are happy to be able to do that for our sellers.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm kind of feeling like, and Miss Wildlife, I think that she is putting her question into the context that apparently there are freight railroad thefts in Los Angeles.
Yikes.
Oh.
And again, that's the importance of going through PayPal. And I'm seeing, and Misty pointed out that maybe some younger or newer sellers don't see the importance behind PayPal. Because here's the thing, is that as a seller, if I can't prove or demonstrate that I've actually sent you your items, PayPal is going to take that money back from you.
Right.
As a buyer, what would happen is, as a seller, I send you an item and you say that I never received it. USPS is liable for that. Now, PayPal isn't going to say, well, go deal with it with USPS. PayPal will actually refund the buyer, but they will not take it from the seller in those kind of instances. So that is a wonderful example of the importance of making sure that you are using a reliable way to pay and buy on. And PayPal is the best way as a small business to do that. Or eBay, or through eBay, because eBay has now, the managed payments. But again, they're providing the same services as far as insurance and protection.
Oh my gosh. Jamie said there are parts of LA where the tracks are literally littered in packages that have been dumped. Hell, Jamie, go get those boxes. We can reuse those boxes.
It doesn't. No,
for our shipping. Probably
isn't that a strange thing about being an adult? You're like, ooh, that's a good box.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's scary. That's horrible.
That's horrible.
Oh, Alligator is saying, what day do you ladies see a day that is best, or a time that is best to do your sales? That's a great question.
Here's my answer: whenever it works best for you.
Yeah.
Yep. That was my answer too.
Yep. I think that there's a well-promoted sale with good items and a great duo of co-sellers is really the key, because I don't think that it really is a matter of day of the week or even time of the day, because on Instagram most of our sales are in the evenings, but I've done day sales that have been amazing.
Same.
So it really is more about the quality of items, your promotion, and your relationship with your co-seller. And for some reason on Instagram, Thursday nights seem to be really saturated, like super saturated.
I agree.
So for whatever reason, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it tends to be crazy on Thursday nights.
Now, saturated, do you mean like a lot of sales or a lot of buyer, or both?
Well, probably both.
A lot of sales scheduled.
Okay.
Like a lot of competition. Thursday night seems to be the hot ticket. I don't know why, but Friday.
Yeah, I like my day sales. I do. I do mine during the day, during the week. I do one on Sunday nights with Michael and Sarah and David, but I like them during the day. That's what works best for me, because I like to keep my evenings free with my family. So there are so many sales that you're going to overlap somebody else. It's just going to happen. But people will keep coming back depending on if you're selling something that they maybe like, if your niches are kind of similar or your vibes are kind of similar, they're bringing things that you like if you like the kitschy stuff, or if you like the glassware, if you like the antiques, those are the kinds of things that we're naturally drawn to when we're shopping for things for resale. So you build up that reputation that I know that these are going to be like the fun things or the fancy things, and people have different aesthetics. And people will watch multiple sales on multiple devices.
Yep.
So they will do that.
Yep. And
I like nooners, Helen. That's right. One is actually.
I mean, I agree with Misty as well that, you know, for me, 9 p.m. Eastern, that's the magic hour. That's the time when Theo Hugh goes to bed, my son.
Yeah.
So that's when I do my sales.
Yeah.
So Peggy is asking, have any of you been scared to sell on a live something worth a lot? No.
No.
Yes. Yes and no. I think well, when you pay up for something, it's always nerve-wracking because you're like, am I making the right decision right now? Like, is this gonna like, and it's not even like, oh, I'm gonna lose money, but it's kind of like, am I gonna look stupid? Like, did I like literally like overpay for this? And then everybody's gonna be like, what the hell did you buy that for? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm afraid or it's not going to go for enough, but people are going to be like, but really?
But I will say every time that you have brought an item that you were skeptical about or that you took a big risk on, it's always worked out well.
I've done well.
So
truthfully, that is true, Amy. And yes, Kim was asking earlier. Yes, this is Enamor Amie, the winking and Esco Kitty, the good ender. Yes, this is the one and only Enamor Amie. Yes, it's true.
I think that I would start my item at what close to what I'm comfortable getting out of that item.
Yep.
If you're buying something high, and let's be honest, I mean, everything that I buy from an antique mall. So I am paying up for things, for some things. I mean, so you kind of have to gauge it by what you feel. And it's just like when you're listing something on eBay. If you were listing something on eBay as an auction, you want to start it at a price that it may sell for.
Yes.
We've all lost money in things that we've bought before.
If you come across a rare item and it's at a higher price point than you would normally try and pay something, you're like, oh, I just don't know, but I really want to share this, and you take that risk. And most oftentimes, if it's something very valuable or rare or something that nobody has seen before, people will be interested in it, and you will have a reward for your risk most often.
There you go. Now, Amy is asking, Amie, Marcy, how do you become an ISN member?
So we have a collective Instagram account called ISN Sales and Info. If you're interested, you can message that page, and we have a person that is running that account, and they will give you all the information that you need. Basics are, we ask that if you're going to sell on Instagram, that you have at least 10 items listed for sale in your shop, with a price and how to purchase it. And that's pretty much it. And I'm sure David is probably here. He might be able to type that in the comments so people can find it. And we also have a separate page for people that are interested in doing live sales, but you can also message the ISN Sales Info Instagram account for that information as well.
Elephant. How do I balance collecting versus hoarding? Well, we all hoard some things every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a reseller, you keep it for a little while and you sell it. Then you get something else, and then you sell that.
Yeah, we're all on the hunt for another Shellephant.
I know, raw chicken Shellephant.
Raw chicken. Not just any Shellephant. It's got to be raw chicken.
Raw chicken. Raw chicken. That's right. Well, now that's something too, and I think a lot of maybe you sell, maybe not, maybe me, maybe it was just, I don't know, but that's something that I definitely struggled with was, doing the reselling thing. it's like you start acquiring more items and you start acquiring more knowledge. And with that knowledge, hopefully, you begin acquiring more appreciation for different things. So maybe there are things that you necessarily wouldn't have been personally attracted to at the beginning, but now that you've discovered this appreciation for them, all of a sudden you're like, oh, now I found one and now I can have one.
Yeah.
And you end up with a whole bunch of these things. And then you're like, but you get to sell them. Sell them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, we have a pretty hard and fast rule in our house. If we, other than Christmas decorations, if you don't have room to display it, it gets sold. And that's my husband's rule. So
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's a good rule to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Now,
Patty girl.
Pat is asking, did any of you have public speaking experience or theater experience before starting your live sales?
Yes.
Yes.
I've been in theater my entire life. Yes.
I was a speech team in middle school and high school. So,
She got it too. Yep.
yep.
Amie, how about you?
I don't have any kind of that experience. I mean, the only theater experience I have is working on props and backdrops and stage manager.
That's
Behind
important.
the scenes stuff, not actually the other thing.
That's more important, I think.
I love doing that. I just don't have the time to do it anymore. But I loved making sets and design things. So
Yeah, you're creative. That's your outlet. That's your creativity. That's your performance. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's great.
And yes, I was public speaking. So before all of this, when I was down south, I was the director of a volunteer organization. And so I would have to have daily meetings with a rotating group of volunteers, anywhere from 75 to 200 people. And that happened twice daily. So I definitely am comfortable speaking in front of large groups that I don't know who they are on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, I was a teacher too, so yeah, I spoke in front of people a lot.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. Not one that can survive without it.
Absolutely, 100%, 100%.
Oh, you know what? This is really interesting, and I did see that LaDonna was in here earlier. So I do want to ask this question in regard and with Maria. What do you do when the seller ships a teeny tiny item in a huge box and charges shipping for the big box? Tell them you're not paying it.
Well, here's the thing. I think if someone is new at reselling and they do that, you know, I think it could be a learning experience. I don't think that you should automatically get kind of lippy with the person. I think it would be good to have that dialogue with them and just say, you know, shipping something in a smaller, I don't know. I don't think that you should immediately come out and say, I'm not paying for that, because maybe they've just learned. Maybe they're just learning.
if it's a situation where, you know, you sold something and you're like, crap, I don't have any boxes. All I have is this huge box. Pat it to where it's safe in the box and cut the box down.
Yeah.
You can save so much by just cutting your box down.
Get a canary, right? Get a canary box cutter. They're
I
great.
was like, excuse me.
They're box cutters and they're canary. That's the brand. And that's the one that I said, these won't cut your hand. Look. And I went like that and cut my hand because that was an idiotic thing to do.
I want to clarify something really quickly. I'm not saying don't just say, I'm not paying that. Engage in a conversation. What I'm saying is don't pay it just because somebody sends you an invoice. You bought this salt and pepper shaker.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And I'm going to charge you $20 in shipping.
Question it.
Don't just pay it. Don't pay that.
Yeah.
But say, why is shipping this $20? And then they're going to say, well, I only have this giant box. In that regards, then I am going to tell you, don't pay it, period. But as a reseller, to Amy's point, and you're like, well, I don't know how to cut a box down, then I'm saying this, then you have to eat that cost. Or go out and get a different box, you know, because it's not fair to your buyer. if you're uncomfortable cutting down a box or making your own or Frankensteining, then I think personally for me that you can ship it in a giant box, but that cost shouldn't be then relegated onto your buyer.
Yeah.
That's
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
That's just me.
And you know, the more that you are shipping, the more comfortable you'll be. Shipping, it can be very scary because you're worried. You want to be fair to your buyer. You don't want to lose money. And I get that question a lot of how I figure out how to do shipping when I'm selling something on eBay, when I'm listing something on eBay. And honestly, it's just, I'm so used to like what size of box I'm going to need or what the dimensions or how much it's going to weigh. But when I first started, I pre-packaged everything. So it might be something if you're just going to start out and maybe, your first, half a dozen sales or so, just try that and see if it'll start to click.
Yep.
Now, and I have to, I don't know if LaDonna, if you're still here. But I was howling, I'm not gonna lie, but LaDonna made an Instagram post. Do you ladies
Oh
think
my
there
gosh.
is something when it comes, is there too much when it comes to packaging so far as like, did we maybe go a little too hard in making sure, oh, she's here. Have you ever seen a box that maybe took like an hour to open and it was just
Duct taped. I've
duct
gotten
tape
a box that the
bubble
whole
wrapped
surface is duct tape. The whole thing.
taped and then bubble wrapped and taped again and then taped again and all the
Well, and also when you're wrapping your item in bubble wrap, keep that in mind. You don't need to like get your item and then like just take your tape gun and go all the way around it 15 times. I use 3 pieces of tape when I'm packing it. 3 on a big item, 3 pieces of tape. That's all that you need. Don't, because your customer, and you want your customers to come back. You don't want to overcharge them shipping. You don't want to annoy them by shipping them something and it takes them 4 years to open it. And they're like, I'm not buying anything from them again.
Misty, was it you that was telling the story about somebody got a mirror and a bubble mailer? Was that you?
Somebody,
triggered.
Yeah, a viewer had emailed me and said, I'm so upset because I just received this mirror in the mail and it was broken. They shipped it in a poly bag. Now that's not even a box in a bag. That's just
mirror in a bag.
Mirror wrapped in a little bit of bubble wrap, and they threw it in. And then that seller had the gall to tell them, well, it's not my fault. Just file a claim with USPS. And I was like, no, that's why you bet USPS has gotten horrible on their damage claims because people are like, oh, just file a claim. They'll take care of it. No.
Well, you know what though, Misty, and this is a really interesting thing because, and LaDonna, I'm of course laughing with you, LaDonna, but I'm sure you were extraordinarily frustrated. And that too though, and Linda G is saying better safe than sorry. Have you ladies ever as sellers really struggled with, I don't want to make this box because when you're bubble wrapping and you're putting in the packing paper, you're increasing the size, you're increasing the dimensions of your box. And weight, nominally, sometimes substantially depending. But that cost then is being passed on to you as a buyer. Yet at the same time, Linda is saying you want to be safe than sorry. I mean, do you ladies struggle with, like, I find I struggle with that every single week. It's like I want the items to be safe and secure, yet I don't want to overdo it. And then I'm passing that cost on to the buyer, which is defeating the purpose of the pirate ship.
Right.
I don't know. I think for me, obviously, I'm much more familiar with shipping like small ceramic items.
Okay.
So that I kind of it's more of like down to a science. I know like, you know, how much I need to put in those boxes and that kind of stuff. But when it comes to shipping glass, which is relatively new for me, I probably err on the side of going overboard a little bit just because I want to have a little bit of extra room, especially for like the large swung vases, where in my kitschy ceramics, I normally wouldn't allow that much extra box dimension.
Okay.
Kind of the same thing with Marcy. Like I primarily ship small glass things, ceramics, that kind of thing. And I don't know, I guess I'm particular about how I pack my boxes. Like when I wrap, I always wrap the item in tissue paper first for an extra layer of padding before I put the bubble wrap on. If it has like a finger or an arm or a handle or something, extra padding goes there so that there's no weak points. And when I bubble wrap, I do a squeeze test. If I can feel anything in there, I need more bubble wrap. That's especially true with Pyrex bowls. If you wrap a Cinderella bowl and you squeeze that and you can feel any of those glass edges in there, you need more bubble wrap. Because if for some reason your package gets frisbeed onto the porch and the box dents, there might be some breakage there. And I always try and leave at least a ½ inch around whatever is in the box. So if the end smashes in or something happens to the box, there is a little bit of cushion in there to allow for that to happen. Although I always try and add extra tissue paper at all 4 corners because those seem to be the weak points at the box. And that's just how I have always packed.
I agree, Amie. It's the corners. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's the corners.
It is. Well, and I think
but if there's a box and you take it to the post office and they put it in their cart and then they take like a 12 by 12 by 12 box and they throw it on top of this box, you better hope that your box is padded good, because if it's not at the center point or at the corners, it's going to dent your box in, and then it's already shipping not in pristine condition. So
I do
pad it for war. Pad it for war.
I think that smush test. I always got it. If it's got like
shake it. If you can't hear anything moving in there, it's good.
I love it when my box is a little bowed on the top because I got so much paper in there. Then I'm like, oh, okay.
But I think I don't know. You guys on YouTube ship more glass than I do, but I find like a ½ inch to an inch is okay for ceramics. But when I ship glass, I'm bumping that margin up. Like 2 to 3 inches of material between the edge of the box and where my glass sits. So.
Oh, you know what, Chris? I received Blue Sight candles just today, in a padded flat rate, wrapped in bubble wrap. Thankfully, they were not damaged, and I paid, because they're the ones I'm keeping. I paid good money for them too. I wanted them to be wrapped better. Back for a field kick.
Somebody was just asking about the different. Oh, here we go. Lauren was saying, when packing items, how do you determine which size bubble, small, medium, large wrap you need?
I use both small and large.
Okay. And ladies,
I use like a medium bubble for everything.
I use small to medium bubble for everything, unless so sometimes on my swungs I will do like a smaller medium and then I'll wrap it in a layer of large too. And then if we're shipping radios, which my husband collects and ships radios, only large.
Okay. See, I typically only use the small bubble even for the swung bases, because I find that like a lot of because I'm not buying enough large bubble wrap to really warrant using like American Bubble Boy. So I will be going to like Walmart. Do you know what I mean? And and this is the thing, like if you go into Walmart, and I think they carry, what is it? The Duck brand. Is that the one with the little duck on it? It's just called Duck or whatever.
Yeah.
But their large bubble, like you can go like this and it'll pop. So like at work, I'll get like the industrial, like you could about jump on it and it won't. It's so stiff then. But yeah.
American Bubble Boy is great. I can't. They're great. They are fantastic. You can have it. I have it where it's delivered to me monthly. I don't even order it. It just comes automatically, gets sent to me, and I buy the small and the large. If I'm shipping some more delicate, larger pieces of pottery, I'll wrap it in the small bubble wrap first, and then I'll put an outer, just an outer shell of the large bubble wrap around it, just for a little pillow. Hello. Yes, Peggy, and you save the cores of your bubble wrap. Those are perfect for swung vases. They're perfect for lucite candles to stick those inside.
All right. Well, you guys, guess what? It's already 10 o'clock.
Oh my, quick.
It did. It usually does. Good people, good conversations. That's how it happens, you know?
Yeah. And thank you everybody for in the chat that was actively participating. That was wonderful. We love that.
And of course, we do apologize if we were not able to get to your questions. A lot of times that's what happens. We just start talking about one subject. Questions are still coming in and I'm stuck at the top. So I do apologize, but I do want to take the time to thank you guys for being here and being engaged. That really does mean a lot for all of us. It really, truly does. Don't forget, please don't forget that down in the description of this video, it would take less. If you weren't subscribed to all 4 of us on any platform, it would literally take you like 3 minutes to subscribe and to follow all of us. Like, it really, truly is that easy. Again, it's just a simple way of showing a little bit of support to some small businesses. And you got some great ladies up here, and they are well deserving of that. Truly, truly. So, Amie, Marcy, what do you ladies have planned this week? Anything that we should keep posted on?
Do you have anything, Amie?
I don't have any sales this week. My next live sale will be on Instagram on Monday, February 7th at 6 p.m. Eastern with Jamie of Vintage Lolly. We're going to bring the kitsch, we're bringing the mid-century, and I will have some handmade Valentine's things for that sale as well. So that's what I got going on.
I actually have a sale on Thursday on Instagram with Sarah from the Traveling Button. And you can see so you can see the items behind me are in that sale. And then I am selling on Friday on Instagram with Jason from Mother Tuckers. About that as well.
Look at Jason go. He's just like going and going. All these new stuff he's doing.
He's amazing. So we're bringing mostly shakers, mostly salt and pepper shakers. So mostly kitsch. So it's going to be amazing. Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let Misty talk for me as that's just where she is. I will be.
Well, Michael and I tomorrow at 1:00 Eastern have a live sale on my YouTube channel. I'm doing 24 items. I already told him I'm doing 24. So I don't know if he's doing 22 or 24, but I'm doing 24. And it really bugs me that I don't get all the way down on my piece of paper because anyway. That is going to be at 1:00. And then Wednesday, I'm having a sale with Tony, Butterfly Nurse Thrift. She is on Instagram. She has an amazing eye for fun vintage items. So it's her very first live sale. So if you guys would come and kind of, boost her up and, and be supportive of her, that would be wonderful. And then Sunday, 4-Eyed Vintage. Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern.
We'll be back on Sunday. That's it. And Lauren, special shout out. Alf, he's going to be at the sale tomorrow. So, I'm just saying. He will be for sale
Does
tomorrow.
Randy know?
Hide your cats.
He's going to be out, yeah.
Randy's husband collects Alf.
John, I didn't know that. Are you serious?
Yeah, I've sent him some ALF things.
Oh yeah, he's in really good he's in really good condition. Really good condition. So yeah. Yep. All right, guys, ladies, thank you all so much for being here. Really great night, great information. Everybody, thank you all for tuning in and for watching. We all hope that you have a wonderful evening, a great day tomorrow. Don't forget, Misty and I will be back tomorrow on Misty's channel, Thrifter Junker Vintage Hunter, 1 p.m., just as she said. We hope to see you all there. Please make sure that you are following along with Amie and Marcy, especially on their Instagram, so that you can keep up to date with all of their live sales. And don't forget, go ahead and give them a follow on YouTube to encourage them to put out some video content.
It's free.
We're going to get them there. It's free.
Yeah.
That ain't going to hurt you. It ain't going to hurt you. All righty, y'all. Everybody, have a good evening. Thank you for being here.
Aloha.
And we'll see you all soon. Good night, guys.
Bye.
Night.